everyone, and welcome to my channel, The Mental Traveler. I'm Carolera, and today I'm going to be reviewing the third season of Star Wars Rebels. I've already done a review for season 1 and season 2 though. This will be a review with spoilers, so if you haven't seen season 3, take care. As I've said in other Star Wars related videos, I owe my dear friend the Far Bright Center a big thank you because she was the one to recommend me Star Wars Rebels, and if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have discovered this wonderful show. We meet up with the crew of the Ghost after the events of Twilight of the Apprentice. Kanan is now blind and is learning how to live with that. We see too through him how Jedi can have a family and attachments and be the better man for it and still be good Jedi. I treasure the father/son storyline relationship between him and Ezra. That's just beautiful. Also, Hera Syndulla has to face some family issues from the past, even as she's becoming a fantastic leader for the rebellion. Sabine also has to go back home and face her past troubles. Seb and Chop also have some storylines, and they're still the same adorable and cranky characters that we know and love. And Ezra Bridger is growing strong in the Force as he struggles with different situations. This season we also discovered who the new Fulcrum was, and we're introduced to Wedge Antilles. We meet the Bendu, which was a fantastic blend of middle ground of the Force being. He was great. And we meet up with Grand Admiral Thrawn. He is a character that is really well beloved in the Star Wars Expanded Universe. He was created in the 90s by Timothy Zahn, and I've read the novels in which he was first introduced to the Star Wars fandom. For example, the Thrawn Trilogy, the Hand of Thrawn duology, Advent Flight, and Survivor's Quest. All of them deal with Thrawn. And I'd rather have that expanded universe storyline as a sequel than that trash that is The Force Awakens. That's canon for me if I have to choose between those two. But anyways, it's funny how Disney disregards the expanded universe, and yet when they like something they incorporate it to their new canon. Season 3 surpassed all of my expectations, which is why I give it a 5 out of 5 stars review. For example, I was afraid before the season began that they would show Vader, and they didn't, so it was perfect that we last saw him in Twilight of the Apprentice. And this also allowed Thrawn to have a more prominent role as a main villain. I was also so afraid for Ezra that Maul would have this really big impact on him, and because Ezra is a teenager, he would go through this rebellious phase where he really falls for the dark side of the Force, and then we didn't get that. Instead, we saw him mature so beautifully. He really is turning out to be this warm-hearted, good man who treasures his family above all and who hasn't lost his innocence. I feel really protective about him, and I'm glad that they're taking good care of this character. And talking about families, I also adore how season 3 kept on bringing emphasis onto the importance of family in the Star Wars universe. As always, also all the references to the Clone Wars show were really appreciated, which was one of the reasons why I really loved the episode called The Last Battle, where they give proper closure under the circumstances to several characters, for example Captain Rex from the Clone Wars years after the Empire has risen. And then, in regards to Darth Maul, I've always thought that it would have been really cool for Vader to finish him off. Not because I think that it's cool to see Vader murdering people, because Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader is my favorite character in the Star Wars universe, and I'm really protective about him, and I hate people prefer to see him being this murderer stereotype villain than to appreciate that he's a great character and a complex one and has way more to him. Anyways, I still thought it would be really cool to see a Sith Lord avenging a fallen Jedi Master, because when Qui-Gon Jinn was killed by Maul, everything changed for Anakin. And it would have been so poetic and poignant to see that Vader, even though he's now a Sith Lord, feeling so much because of what was done to him as Anakin when Qui-Gon was killed. I don't know, I think it would have been so cool to see him fit Maul, fit this rogue Sith. And because I thought that having Obi-Wan kill Maul after so many years of fighting was just way too predictable. But then I just loved the way things were handled in the end. I mean, here we have a Jedi giving hope to a former Sith and them sort of uniting because they want to defeat Palpatine. And then the way Obi was cuddling Maul in his arms was so evocative to the way he was hugging Qui-Gon when he died. I was expecting Maul to be, as he always had been, fueled to kill Obi-Wan and have revenge, and yet when they end up meeting for the last time, it's actually just like Maul doesn't have anything else to live for, so he just goes and finds Obi-Wan. But then when they're fighting and he loses, he doesn't even seem to regret it because he's now found peace and is going to rest. And that was such a good thing to see for this character. I mean, he was actually growing and developing and saying that bygones would be bygones and he wouldn't hold on to his grudge any longer. And it was really important for him to learn that before he passed away, in my opinion. And then regarding what Obi-Wan says about the Chosen One, it was handled really cleverly, because when we meet Obi-Wan in the original trilogy, he doesn't believe that Anakin has a chance to redeem himself and turn back to the light. So it is implied maybe that he thinks Luke is the only hope for a rebellion. And yet Luke's not actually mentioned. Maul just says, is he the Chosen One? Which is sort of ambiguous. Then we see Luke running with the two sons in the background, and as the far right center has pointed out to me several times, one represents Luke and one represents Anakin, or so we believe. It was so beautiful. Overall, I'm deeply thankful to Dave Filoni and his team for doing a fantastic job with Season 3. At the moment, this is all I have to say about Star Wars Rebels Season 3. Please let me know what you thought of it. In the description box below, you can find a link to the IMDb page for Star Wars Rebels Season 3, as well as a link for my review of Season 1 and Season 2. When Season 4 comes out later this year, I shall be watching it and doing a review for it when it ends. But until then, I bid you farewell. I'm Carolera, the Mental Traveler, and may the Force be with you.